So something that's not being talked about enough in golf instruction is the benefits of the strong grip. So today we're going to do a video. Jonathan's got the GoPro. We're just going to show some different angles and talk about the benefits of how the strong grip is the best grip if you're looking to get more distance, better contact, better ball flight. All these things are made possible because of the strong grip. And you have to use your body less to create all these things of speed and swing direction, and it just makes golf easier. So this video, we're just going to walk you through all the benefits at setup, how to get the proper strong grip, and then how to actually use those in swing. So here we go, strong grip for the win.
All right.
Okay, cool. All right, so first thing, let's just get the setup right, I guess. Just really make sure we have just a basic understanding of the strong grip. So V's on the side of the handle, right? Yep. And we talk about on the podcast a lot where these V's really control the direction the club head needs to go.
Which is why they're supposed to be pointing towards your trail shoulder.
Okay.
Because that's the direction the club head's supposed to really be going as you go back.
Because it's a sideways sport.
That's the biggest thing. That's, again, the biggest benefit. We're playing the sideways sport. So by getting your hands more on the trail side of the club, you have a better chance to be able to swing on a more inside-out path. And that helps us with getting the draw, which gives us more distance and more consistency.
Got it. And when we're doing this, we're not it's not like we're on this.
Right.
It's like when you see people talk about strong grip, it's
if you get too underneath the club, it's hard to push down, and then you can see your wrist is not in, you're not, you're in ulnar basically as well. So you're not able to push down on the handle.
Right. So you want to have all these kind of activation points that we talk about. We have a lot of videos on that.
Exactly.
So, but, okay, cool. So V's at the trail shoulder. I actually had this visual, and we talked about this before, where if you imagine, we're trying to hit, the inside part of the golf ball, right?
Yeah.
If this is, straight on, we're trying to hit this way at the ball.
Right, a 45 degrees to the right, which is, again, you think about that with the sideways sport. Yeah. It's just, it's like everyone tries to swing straight, but really it's like we have to try to swing a little bit out away from the target in order for the ball to come back to this target. Right. Because, again, we're standing sideways.
Got it. Yeah, this feeling to get the club right here feels like you probably have to go out there for a lot of people. Right. Yeah. So again, the benefits of strong grip is that it really is allowing the club to stay back behind you, and
maximizing your lag.
Yeah.
That's another reason why inside out is so important, because it really allows you to lag the club the best. Where if you're getting like most golfers, if you get steep and you're slicing the ball, the club head's basically getting released too early, and it's basically working too far left, which is where that chicken wing idea that a lot of people have with the lead arm happens.
Gotcha. Okay? So basically, our lead thumb's on the top trail side of the club, V at the trail shoulder.
That's right.
So I'm pushing down on the handle, but I'm also pushing on the side of the handle.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
Now from here,
same with
trail palm,
pushing
matches,
down.
Still pushing down like this, but
and
also
against
from the side.
Connecting the claws.
Boom. So both V's. Trail shoulder, not too under.
That's right.
Good. So now I feel like I can really push down on the handle.
Right. You've activated that already, which is what we're going to use in the swing, right?
Yeah. So now if I want to, we talk about a lot, just doing a really good drill, club
vertical,
bend from the waist, so the club is right at your waist.
Once the handle's hip high and the button is on the toe line, then we can go down 45 with the fingers.
Boom.
And boom, there we go.
Perfect distance
Just
from
a
the
little
ball.
knee flex, that's
Again, another benefit of strong grip.
The process.
I have more awareness of where this part of the club is, which is what allows me to get the proper distance from the ball.
Right.
If you have a weaker grip, sometimes it's you don't know where the butt end of the club is because you're focused more on this.
For sure. And most commonly when people go to grip the club, one thing that they're screwing up is that they're gripping the club with the club head on the ground. They're not starting with the club vertical. And what happens then is that you're naturally going into more ulnar, and you don't have the ability to feel how to push down to support the weight of the club.
Yeah, because nobody talks about pushing down on the handle.
Right.
It's you have to push down.
Because it works like a lever, right? So it's if you don't push down the lever, you're not able to control how it works as a fulcrum. So it's
exactly. It's that nail sticking out of the inside part of the ball, and here's our hammer. It's
That's right.
Get the hammer up, drive that nail
and stick
into
it down.
Ball.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. So another analogy I use too is that imagine there's a piece of wood sticking out of the inside part of the ball, and your club is like an axe. It's are you going to take your hands and grab straight up and down to hit that sideways angle of that wood? No. You're going to grab the axe like this and go this way at that wood.
Right.
So you're chopping it like a sideways
It's a more natural thing than trying to go weak and doing the bow thing. It's it's a weird axe move.
Yeah, because if you have your hands on top, the only way
you have to bow,
then
it's just
you have
a different, it's like an unnatural move.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't naturally get the direction of the club wanting to move out to the right field, we'll say like right field of the target
Right.
on the 45 as much.
Exactly.
Yep.
So another guy that has a little something to say about chopping wood is right here.
Yeah.
He's got his axe.
Yeah, right. He's like,
So,
swing on the 45.
Swing on the 45, right, exactly. So, all right. So I got my good strong grip here.
Right.
So,
and a couple things, let's talk about this, is that
Yeah.
when we have the strong grip, it naturally tends to set the handle a bit more forward of the club head at address, which is also going to help us with controlling the low point of the swing,
Okay.
and also controls or has a huge influence on your swing path. Yes.
Got
So
it.
that's natural. We look at his arms. You can see the trail elbow is pinned under lead arm. So everything's already pointing him in that direction. So if we look at like the little arrow over here on the screen, he's basically going to try to leave his club head at the little arrow, like the cursor.
okay.
Okay?
Should I hit this?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's do it. So I'm just driving, basically getting the good lever up.
Yep.
Now I'm just driving through that.
Imagine
inner
the 45
quadrant.
to the right of that center
And I'm
line.
just gonna, on this swing, I'm just gonna kind of stick the club right over here.
Right.
And just try not to feel like I'm going any further up.
Yeah, like lead arm, basically when it gets parallel to his lead leg, he's going to try to stop there.
Right. And just really stick it right there.
Look at this.
That should just be
Perfect push draw.
Oh.
That
All
was
right.
nice. See, it goes to prove, too, that
Let's
really
go.
focusing on sticking the finish like we talk about is really the key. Like, you're concentrating
Right.
the energy to the inside quadrant of the ball in the
Ooh.
right direction. And, it has, like, the least amount of, let's say, kind
Body.
of, like, improper body effects.
Yeah.
Because, again, when we talked about, like, the over-the-top guy or the person slicing, the arms are being pulled across the body. That's where the chicken wing goes on. And then what happens is, when the lead arm doesn't properly unrotate or serve as like a pivot point for the trail hand arm to work around, then you're lacking distance and control. And your body's going to do some weird things too.
I got you.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, on that one, I felt like when I get that strong grip, it's almost like I have like a wall
Exactly.
preventing me from swinging over the top. So another benefit, I think, like if we had a tally, like all the benefits.
Oh, it's
like,
a- it's a
by the time
laundry
this
list of
episode's
benefits.
over with, it's like ding, 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 ding.
We call
like,
it the like 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for
It's
1
like a
deals.
10
It's like
for 1
that's
special.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, yeah, because I mean, if we're saying like best, we want to hit the inside part of the ball. Okay, well, get your hands on the side of the club so you can, coming into the ball, keep the club head behind the handle longer. You have this like wall right here preventing the club from coming over the top. Now from here, like we talked about in podcast, trail arm goes from bent to straight, keeping the cup, and then just trail hand basically
Right.
just pivots around this wall right
Exactly.
here, and then the club rehinges back up at
Right.
you.
Right.
But for the person that has the weaker grip, they don't really have this wall. So then they've got to do all these perfect things down here with the trail side and trail
Right.
arm to
And-
get that inside quadrant and
Right.
to get that proper gear effect.
Absolutely.
And it's just so much harder.
It's harder,
It's like,
yeah.
why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we understand that the lead arm serves as like the pivot point again for the trail hand arm to work around, especially here at like post impact, it's like by the strong grip placement on the club, it's easier to push down on the handle, which is easier to keep the lead arm locked
Yes.
at post impact, where again with the bow, it's just a harder idea to keep it locked.
Right.
Right.
Like we're just trying to push
Right.
against the handle, get that proper lever position, and then we get this question a lot, like how do we push in the downswing? It's like you're just redirecting the push pressure.
Right. So from the top of the swing, we have the club head up and back at the trail shoulder. We're basically just going to push with both palms. Think about it as like he's going to drive the butt end out at the target line until the club gets to parallel to the ground here. Now that's how we shallow the club properly. We've lagged it properly. Now it's in the position to be able to release it properly on the 45. And again, that's maximizing your distance, and you're using like minimal amount of effort also, like getting most out of
Right.
your swing.
And like if you're really struggling and you're like having a hard time, like you're slicing the ball, you're having a hard time with distance and contact.
Sure.
The best drill, I do this with my students all the time, is I'll max out everything. So I'll get their lead thumb on the top trail side of the club, get their lead elbow facing like almost the right side of the screen here, and then I'll get the handle very forward. Now we have like the max wall
Right.
here,
Right. Right.
And once we have that wall, now it's just you feel like you're almost pointing like over here. But
Correct.
if you look at my feet, they're still parallel.
Right.
Maybe slightly closed. Yeah. And now from here, if I just do a small little swing, that's going to curve a lot.
Look at it coming right back.
Yeah.
Yep. So one of the most common tendencies we see with slicers is that the ball's going to the right, so they naturally think if I just aim more left, that it's going to fix the problem. And maybe the ball ends up a little closer to target, but the more left you aim, the more slice you're actually going to impart on the ball, because that has a huge influence on curvature. So what we're saying here is that you have to feel like your back is almost to the target, like you
Yes.
actually aren't looking like directly at the target like this, because you think that that's easier to hit it where you want, but then the ball goes out to the left and then curves back
It's like
to a
that,
right-handed
yeah,
golfer.
we talked about in the podcast, like you said, the best way to do it is when you're setting up to the ball.
Mhm.
Like, get your back to the target. Feel like your feet and shoulders are about 10 degrees closed.
Right.
And now from here, when you're coming in, it's scary.
Right.
But just feel like you're driving the butt end.
Right.
Down the target line. And then
Just focus on where the club
needs
needs to be there at post impact. It's really all you have to focus on.
Yeah.
If you get these preset things, it's
Right.
like focus on just that one thing, and then the rest of the swing will kind of work around getting
So
to that.
all right, cool. So I feel like everybody's got a pretty good understanding now of the strong grip just makes golf easier for you.
Right.
Okay, we got our ability to push down on the handle, like we talked about with getting the
Yep.
proper setup.
Yep.
We're on the side of the handle
Right.
more, so it's easier to hit that inside quadrant of the ball, get the swing path working
Right.
the proper direction.
Yep.
Also, when you get the club back here longer, it's creating more speed. because the
Natural speed.
Yeah,
It's like a
'cause-
catapult. You're trying to like keep the club head up and back behind the handle as long as possible.
Right.
And then when it naturally releases, if we have that proper support with that lead arm pushing down,
Yes,
then
yes.
then it really does catapult the club. And I mean, you're maximizing distance with minimal effort.
Right.
That's another big
I
benefit.
really like the idea too. I talk about this a lot with my students. Where
Mhm.
if you imagine, we talk about this a lot in the podcast, where the lead thumb's on the top trail side of the club. If you just lever that lead thumb back,
Mhm.
the longer you keep that lead thumb back of like the butt end of the club,
Mhm.
the longer the club's gonna be lagging behind you.
Right.
Now, if you can just keep the push pressure, direct that thumb
While
like,
the
down
while the
out
thumb
and
goes
away,
down out and around the
then
like the butt
there
end
we
of the
go.
club, that's
then
it.
That's
Right.
gonna be just a perfect
As we
push
call
draw.
it, maximum gear effect.
Yeah, so if you ever just want to kind of work on your swing, I mean, just lead hand only, don't even hit a ball, but just get the setup and just feel like boom, boom,
There you go.
boom.
Perfect.
And then now you got that in your mind, it's like, okay, just put the trail hand on and just replicate that same feeling. It should just be a nice push draw.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just so many benefits of strong grip.
Yeah.
You hear us talk about this on the podcast. We're just showing it live now.
Right.
So, yeah, if you don't know by now, strong grip, easiest way to play golf.
Right.